I know what's on your mind. You're like, hey, this girl, have you come again to harass us? No, I haven't come to harass you. I've only come to appeal to you, not to spoil other people's brand. Yes, I'm always shaking tables these days. I have to. I just have to. 12 years is no joke. Being in the media space for 12 years is worth celebrating. So at least anything I tell you, you should know that I'm talking from 12 years of experience. Where am I going to? Please don't spoil people's brands. If you can't afford their services or you can't afford their goods or whatever it is that they're selling, please, you don't have to spoil the name of the brand. It's not for you. When you gather the money, you can go and negotiate. That's also something that you can do, negotiate. But please don't go around spoiling other people's brands or name or something because you couldn't afford their service. So let me be more practical. For example now, as a voiceover artist, I produce jingles and do all of that. And I give you my bill. Say I tell you, for example, say I tell you, oh, I'm charging you 500K for this job. And because you can't afford to pay 500K, you discourage someone else. Maybe my name comes up somewhere. You discourage someone else and be like, don't use Edima. Her work is even worth it. It's rubbish. If I catch you, but on a more serious note, if you can't afford it, especially if you know deep down that the person's work is good, and the person is not charging you out of being selfish or I just want to charge you an exorbitant amount, but it's actually worth it. You, Seth, think about it. Is it fair? If it's you, okay, if you knew how to do that job, would you do it? Abi, if you knew how to do that job, why didn't you do it yourself? But you're contracting someone because you know that the person can't do the job. So if you cannot afford the person, you move on. If the person's name comes up in a room where they're discussing and they need services for this kind of thing, you can be kind enough to suggest. It's not compulsory. But if you choose not to, don't just go ahead to spoil the person's name or brand. Now, let me tell you the flip side. If you can't afford someone's service, that has happened to someone before. The person wanted my services, couldn't afford my services at that point, and it wasn't so high, but the budgets they had, I couldn't work with it. We didn't part ways on a bad note. My name came up in another discussion, some other client and all of that. They were having like some meeting, and then he suggested, oh, why don't you use Edima? She's good. Now guess what happened? The next time the guy brought a job and was like, do you want to, oh, can we work with you? We don't know. I slashed the price. I'm not saying you have to do the same thing, but I'm a very appreciative person. If someone goes out of their way to do something for me, especially if I did not ask, I try as much as possible. I'm not trying to pay them back for their kind deed, but it's just me saying thank you too. I do that a lot. And the guy could not believe it. Now, do you know what you've also done? You've also retained that person again, and that person will come back knowing that you're an honest person to work with. So if you can't work with someone, I'll say it again. You do not have to spoil the person's brand. It's okay to move on. It's okay to get someone else within your budget. You'll always find someone within your budget that fits anything that you want to do. So please, today, stop spoiling people's brands. Thank you.